If you have a big following on social media, here is how you can monetize it without actually taking sales calls. This is exactly how Liz, also known as the Workout Witch, does it with her following. A lot of businesses think that they need to rely on sales calls to make money, when in reality you can also build an incredibly profitable business without them. But one important point to note with this is a lot of businesses don't have the following and authority to sell without a sales call, and if they were to, they'd end up selling a load of low ticket clients and make far less money. Liz has millions of followers, so she's able to do it at scale, and I'm going to show you exactly how. She has two main traffic sources, Instagram and TikTok, and has millions of followers combined between the two platforms. She has 1.6 million followers on Instagram and then 2.2 million followers on TikTok. So as you can see, she's very heavy on short form content as opposed to a lot of the other creators being heavy on long form. Long form generally builds more trust with your audience because they get to know you on a deeper level. However, the benefit with short form is you can run this at scale a lot easier than potentially producing long form content. So you'll notice with Liz, also known as the Workout Witch, she doesn't run sales calls. She uses Instagram to essentially turn comments into conversations, into DMs, and uses a DM automation funnel to make sales. Her content then has call to actions to message keywords or comment keywords such as heal, release, and cortisol, and then she automatically delivers exercises straight into your inbox to guide them through to her paid offers. And this essentially is how creators and businesses are scaling their offers without taking sales calls. But a big point to note with this is you could run the same process and essentially then just sell someone into a sales call instead of selling them in the DMs. This will then allow you to pitch them on a call and ultimately probably convert a higher percentage and ultimately convert a higher percentage at a higher price point. Now, for the most part, a lot of businesses would take far more benefit away from having one clear link in their bio as opposed to a link such as a link tree. One clear link, one clear outcome, and you can rotate this link when you're making different offers. However, in this case, Liz has a link tree type bio with numerous different links. You'll see on here that she essentially has a few different links, such as a link to her app, a link to essentially a 30-day course, a 3-course bundle, a 4-course bundle, a 5-course bundle, and get out of survival mode. Now, for someone that's not quite sure what offer would work best for them, seeing this could create a lot of overwhelm. Instead, having one link with one offer makes far more sense as there's far less friction that way. However, these are the links that she has. One link about her, so then it essentially gets people to buy into her more, positions her as an authority figure because she's been through what they're struggling with. A link to essentially sign up to one of her products. And then a link to essentially an affiliate partnership where she'll just get passive commissions for pushing people onto this link. However, from this link, all the traffic then funnels through to her website where she then looks to make sales. Now, the difference between a website and a landing page is essentially a website is like your digital footprint and it has lots of different options. In this case, you can see that we have lots of different options here, whereas a landing page would be designed for one clear outcome. So she could then choose one clear offer, have a landing page for this, and then drive everything into that one landing page. There's not distractions and leads are solely focused on getting to whatever that conversion is. You'll then notice on her website, she then has numerous different offers that people could then purchase. For example, there's numerous different offers for numerous different price points. I don't think she does this, but she could look at bundling them all together at a discounted rate in order to get upsells. However, what could then also work well is when people purchase one, at the checkout, they could have an order bump to add one of the other products on at a discounted fee, or even have a one-click upsell. So when they purchase something, it takes them through to a next step where they can click yes, and it just adds that next order onto their value. However, to get around the aspect of feeling a little bit overwhelmed, she then uses a quiz funnel to help leads find out which product would be best for them. On here, they can answer a series of questions that then qualifies them and then suggests a certain product off the back of that. This then works really well because it's essentially qualifying leads without a sales call, and the only reason it works well for her is because she has a lot of volume. If you don't have the volume and the traffic flowing through this, then you're not really going to get a huge outcome off the back of it. However, with her, it allows her to pivot away from a sales call and just focus on driving everyone through into a sale with a product that best fits them and one where they essentially recommended something without having to wait to speak to a human. Now, the whole objective of this funnel is to provide immediate value through free resources, educate users on the benefits of somatic healing, and guide interested individuals towards purchasing her products. However, this is essentially the automated DM sequence that Liz uses to convert traffic from her page into paying clients. You'll then see that she uses prompts on specific posts such as cortisol, release, heal. Upon commenting, users receive an automated DM containing a free somatic exercise, video, or resource. For instance, commenting cortisol might grant access to a 1-minute exercise aimed at reducing stress hormones. Big thing here, lead magnets, they're really short and concise and easy to implement, then easy to get wins from. They're not having to spend hours and days trying to watch something and implement something. They can do something quite quick and take a quick benefit away from it. Now, off the back of that, the DM keywords on Reels such as heal, release, and cortisol trigger a sequence. So we can then take a viewer from a post into a DM conversation without her having to do anything that can then take them round to the point of making a sale. Not only this, is it will build her email list so she can then make sales away from the platform and not just be reliant on the DM sequence in that platform. So you'll see that after commenting on one of her posts, we then get a DM and we have the answers essentially pre-built. We just tap on one of them. So it's really simple. It takes the barrier away from us having to think, then it moves us through that step, essentially capturing our name, capturing our email so that we can then be remarketed to via email and via ads. And then throughout this process, we're then essentially given the appropriate resource or free training exercise. We watch it, and then off the back of this, we then get asked a series of questions. This then moves us through to essentially then try and sell us into one of her paid products. You'll then see that we then get given the option to say, yes, I've already signed up, or I'm gonna start lowering my cortisol now, and essentially join here. Off the back of that, we then get the appropriate message, and if we obviously say that we've signed up, cool, there we go. And if we haven't signed up, we then get offered one of her products. That product is then specific to the sequence that we entered into. For example, if we went through one of the sequences around cortisol, we'd then get an offer specific to that. If we went through one of the sequences around healing, we'd get an offer specific to that. You'll then see that Liz offers numerous different programs based off different outcomes. However, for a lot of the time, if businesses focused and went all in on one product, they'd have far more success. Liz can do this because it's a fairly low ticket product. It doesn't really require a huge amount of time, I presume, from her side, but she also has the audience to do it. A lot of the time when businesses try and scale numerous different products and offers at once, they then end up hitting roadblocks because there's far too many moving parts. Simplicity scales and complexity often fails. And with that process, Liz then takes followers and traffic from her platforms, turns them into conversations and ultimately sales, so she can scale her business without needing to take sales calls.